I think it's been great, certainly immersing the new guys in with the veterans. And again, it always comes back to those guys playing with one another. You're certainly trying different rotations, playing as many guys as possible right now to get them that experience. But I think it's been good, again, of those newcomers getting in there with the veteran guys and putting it together.
Is there any second spring for you? Any big difference now that you're kind of fully through this from last year, maybe being ahead or whatnot?
I think so. I think it's been critical. College football, there's not a ton of continuity. There has been with our staff,
right.
So I think that's been critical of just everybody being on the same page, already having the answers ahead of time. So that's been a huge plus. I think we've been able to grow off of certainly last year, but it is that mixture. It's that feeling of the staff continuity, but bringing so many new players to it. So you got to make sure you're right where you need to be on not moving too far ahead.
Okay, hang on just a second, Coach. Is our microphone up here? All right.
Coach, obviously, you had a ton of film on Zach when he came in. That experience was the big selling point. But how have those skills translated into what you all want to do this year?
Zach's doing a good job. I think it's always so critical. Again, every practice is so important for him. This is a guy that has played a lot of football, but it's still a new system, and again, in a year one setting. So I always like to see quarterbacks that are continuing to improve, and I think he has done a really nice job of that. Consistency with him is going to be critical, and getting himself back into the mode of SEC play as well. So pleased with where he's at, how hard he's working, and we're excited about the rest of this week for him to finish strong.
What's the best version of Zach look like?
Big, strong, physical. I think he's one of those guys that he surprises you with his athleticism. Naturally, he's got a big arm. For him, it's going to be the accuracy and taking a little bit off of it at times to throw, catching a ball. So he's a big, strong, physical kid. He likes making big plays. As we know, it's always going to come down to decision making and accuracy, and that's what we're striving for him to do.
Mark said last week that running back is going to be a committee approach, but Jason was getting most of the first team reps the day we were out there. Just how did you see him progress over the course of the year?
Jason's done a good job. He's benefited from, since he's been here, being able to stack a lot of good reps. And so he's a guy that doesn't say much. Again, takes one day at a time, and it's been that constant state of improvement for him. The whole group has done a nice job. We've got 3-4 guys that we've been repping, getting carries. Again, sometimes it can be hard to get in a rhythm when that is the case, but we just got to keep working towards creating those plays.
Bush Hamdan was a guy that had a really strong practice when we were out there last week. What's kind of stood out about him? I know he was a really good run blocker at Alabama, didn't probably get as many pass receptions as he would have wanted.
He's been strong, physical, what we've seen on film. I think a good decision by him to be here because he's getting those opportunities to not just be featured in those ways, if you will, those ball in hand type reps. He's out there doing a nice job, running routes over and over again. And I think if he can continue to develop and become a complete wide receiver, he'll be a good player for us.
Bush, as you depart for the spring, which is going to kind of be your message to the offense? What do y'all want to build on and then bring into fall camp when the time arrives?
The critical thing, I think, for us and really a lot of coaches is the amount of time you get with them from about April, third week in April on, building into the summer, is just that time spent and the value you're getting out of it, right? So for us, good, honest assessments of personnel, and then looking at our scheme, what are going to be those schemes that are going to be core one type schemes for us that we're going to rely on when the season starts, and making sure we're banking as many quality reps of that leading up to fall camp.
Coach, when Zach was with us and also when Shiaz was with us over the past couple weeks, both were asked about what their goals were for the spring and off season, and they declined to answer. Not to, their discredit at all, not to bash them, but why are they like that? Are they just so laser focused that they don't want anyone to know what they're working on?
I think they're big personalities, so I think sometimes they'll say some things, when I'm with them, and I'll just kind of laugh a little bit. But I do think those are two veterans. You know what I mean? Those are guys that have played a lot of ball. Shiaz maybe not as much, but as you've met him, he's as mature a 23, 24-year-old as there is. And so I think right now they understand the importance of where they're at. I also think anytime you're in a new situation, it's one day at a time. They're still learning nuances of the offense, but I think that's the approach we want them to have, one day at a time, and we'll figure out the goals where they come.
How do you feel about the offensive line development to this point? Where would you like to see them keep pushing, improving as we get closer to the summer?
Yeah, I think there's improvement for sure. The additions we've made and who we brought in the portal, from an attitude standpoint, from a professionalism standpoint, that's there. I think like anything, when you take a couple players that aren't or were not in this league in previous years, the development in the weight room, the strength and conditioning, that's going to be critical for them, as critical as any football session we may have. So I think they're doing a good job. It's a good professional group that cares about their craft. The development in the weight room over the course of the next 2 to 3 months will be critical for them.
We've seen Cutter just approach the spring after you all added Zach. You obviously needed a veteran, but what he got out of that down the stretch, and now he's kind of taking those next steps.
I think he's taken steps, and I think everybody, sometimes you have a guy like that, the pressure on him for right now. I just think Cutter's a guy that needs as many reps as he can take at this level, and so for us, it's invaluable to get him those reps, and he's another guy like Zach that's getting better. Consistency is critical, right? That's what it is at this level. It's always going to come down to who can take care of the football, and sometimes not the throws you do make, but the throws you don't make. And so it's been great for us this spring to get him as much work as he can get, and we think he's in a good spot.
Everybody good?
Actions that's going on on a Saturday, right? Whether it's the wind, whether it's somebody running at your face. So the noodles is just a good way that I use as a distraction drill.
Yeah, I saw Brad White come up. He's like, man, it's summertime. You bring out the pool noodles.
Bringing out the noodles early so the guys can get in a good mindset. But no, it's been good. Good distraction drill, something that I've used at the last place and previous places.
Yeah, gotcha. Along the sideline, you're very vocal. Is it towards your guys or just like offense in general?
I think right now it's tell people I got to sweep my own front porch right now, which is my guys. Never want to step on any other position toes, anything like that. But I think energy and everything like that, I think it goes throughout the whole room and the whole group. So my job right now, take care of my group, continue to be on those guys, continue to push and make the small things big, and I think it's been contagious for our whole.
Is there anyone like on the freshman, sophomore level that you've seen stand out?
I think they're all doing a good job. I think they're all doing a really good job. From DJ Miller to Preston Bowman to Quisenberry, I'm glad that these guys are here, that they came early, so by the time they get to the fall, for them, it'll seem like a year that they've had under their belt. So things that they're messing up on right now, fall camp, I expect that to be a different mindset than to be executed.
What have you told them to go, from after spring practice ends to go, in the summer, what their goals might be?
I think the same thing that I tell all these guys. The spring right now is to focus on all the little things and to continue to get better and better each day. Same thing when the summer approaches, get better and better each day, except with those guys, they now know what the speed at this level looks like, and so now they can continue to alter their game and adjust accordingly.
David, when we first talked to you here, like when you first hired, to like wide receiver, need to be blue collar, gritty. How have you felt that room has kind of acclimated to the culture you want to have?
I think they're continuing to push, continue to understand that the small things have to be mastered and it has to be detailed out. I think we're taking the right approach. We just have to keep working each and every day to get there.
Okay. And Kendrick Law, when y'all got him out of the portal, what was what you liked and what have you seen from him since he's been in?
I mean, he's tough, he's gritty. You watch what he did at Alabama. He's in there, he's going to get backwards, he's blocking. He's a tough tackle when he got the ball in open space. I think he's bringing that mentality. He's been in big games, so we need a mature standpoint for him in the room and that presence, and he's been nothing short of that.
Okay. And DJ Miller, young player in for the spring, how is he kind of processing for
DJ's adjusting. He's doing really good. Quisenberry's doing really good. Preston Bowman's been doing really good. I'm really proud of the growth that those guys have taken from practice 1 to now about practice 13.
Early last year that he got hurt and it wasn't that different. Just how have you progressed over the last year?
I feel like I got bigger, stronger, faster. The weight room, Coach Ed and them. I feel like the game is starting to come more slower to me. I'm starting to realize where my assignment's at, getting there faster.
Was it frustrating when you got her? I mean, because it looked like you had such a big role and then it kind of went away. Like, how did you handle that?
I mean, it was definitely frustrating, but I trust in the Lord, you know, His plan for me, and you know, I feel like what God got for me, you know, nobody can take from me. So if this is the plan that He won't be on, then I'm just stay the course.
First, it's called you the guy who can be in every down back.
I think, you know, each day we get
I mean, I can block, I can pass, I definitely can run. That's why I'm here. So like, I feel like any down, first, second, or third, I'm there. I can be a guy to be counted on, and I'm ready to make the play.
Jason, how much you were here for spring last year? How much is that helping you, having gone through this process already now, year 2 for you?
It's definitely helped me a lot. Last spring came in, didn't know really too much. The game was faster, and I just didn't know anything that was really going on. Coming to this spring, it's definitely starting to move a little way slower. I'm starting to see the cuts, the reads. I'm starting to hit it faster pace. I'm playing faster.
Now, for you, what was something you wanted to grow from last year as a player, like going through playing a couple games, now hitting in year 2? What did you really need to improve at heading into this season?
I don't think it's nothing physically.
Yeah.
I think personally it's everything that was in my head. Confidence. I feel like now I have the confidence in myself to know I can go out there and make that play, regardless of what it consists of, what they're asking for me. But I feel like now I have the confidence to make that play. So.
Do you think that gain confidence came from this experience, just going through this process before, and now you're doing it again? It's kind of your second year?
Yeah, definitely. Going through the process, Coach JB pushing me a lot, and then, like I say, trusting the Lord, talking to God a lot. He helped me just becoming the player that I'm trying to become.
Every year, have you seen that in practice? Just like an emphasis to be in you guys' ball.
You know, I think I don't know if I really look at it like that. I look at it more like it's our job to be open and to be, you know, a security blanket. And I think it's like, you know, if we get our opportunity and, you know, if we catch the ball, it's like, you know, good things happen for us.
Do you see yourself as more of a, you know, pass catcher or a blocker?
I think I can do a little bit of both, personally. You know, but I mean, situationally, like whatever they need,
Henry, why Kentucky? I guess they haven't get to talk to you since you've been here. So why did you want to leave Illinois? Why did you want to come to Kentucky?
Yeah, you know, I think when I got in the portal, I got a call from Coach Marrow, you know, and just listening to him, hearing his words, kind of hearing his vision for what, you know, he thinks the team's going to look like, and for what us as a tight end room is going to look like. I think it was really enticing to me. You know, just being around them all the time, hearing their wisdom, and you know, learning from them each and every day has been really good.
It seems like for them, they needed kind of that big Y inline tight end. Is that something that you think you can bring to them and bring to
I think so, yeah. I think so. I mean, I try to take pride in being physical when I'm out there, and try to be a presence and a guy, you know, you can depend on. So, I mean, whatever they need me for, I want to do that.
Yeah, Kentucky, they've kind of hung their hat on being kind of a run-first physical offense. Do you feel that's something that fits your play style?
Sure, yeah. I mean, whatever they want to do. You know, if that's like I'm used to putting my hand in the dirt and blocking. So I mean, if that's, you know, regardless of what we feel like we need to do to win games, you know, I'm ready to do it.
Get a lot of reps and getting a lot of reps with the twos and the ones. So I just plan on continuing doing that and, you know, just leveling up from here.
Is there anything that like guys like Jamari or Fred or any other guys to talk to?
Definitely. With the playbook, like they like both of them sat me down. They talked teaching me the playbook, got me in tune with that, like they getting me down with all my like assignments, and you know, like they veterans, senior guys. Like I learned from them, true freshmen. I'm learning from them. You know, they getting their wisdom and all that, so I can put it to my game and get better. So just getting wisdom from you guys.
What's something that Coach Washington that has like stuck out to you this spring that he taught you?
If you can play, you're gonna get a chance. If you're gonna get a chance to play, it's like he don't care if you're a senior, freshman, none of that. You can get that opportunity. You gotta show you gotta play. You can play ball. Like you're not scared. You gotta be able to play ball, make plays, and you're gonna get the opportunity.
How was your first SEC spring practice?
It was very exciting. You know, first time on the field and all that. It was very exciting. You know, being able to play with Zach, Cutter, all those guys. making plays. So it's been real fun though.
We've heard a lot about the kind of zip that Zach puts on the ball. Is that an adjustment coming from?
Yeah, it's definitely just from high school ball, like where you just catch the ball, it's just like routine. But like him, you gotta. I expected it, but it's like, yeah, you definitely gotta be ready for that ball to come. Like he got a lot of zip on, a lot of power from his ball. So, you know, as a receiver, you just gotta adjust to it and just make plays when the ball comes to you. Though, so it is what it is.
How do you feel like you've improved like since day one to now? It seems like this spring practice has gone by in a flash.
It has gone by in a flash, and like I feel like I've gotten better with my assignments, like everything, like especially blocking and just making plays outside the perimeter. You know, my depth on certain routes and just making big plays. I feel like that's what I've gotten better at so far in the spring ball. So yeah.
For you, just back to your recruiting process, came down to the wire, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but why did you want to come to Kentucky? What was the ultimate thing that got you here?
It was really the bond I had, like Coach Stoops, Coach Bush and Coach Stoops, like them keeping in contact with me, like Bush came to school multiple times, and then it was just playing early as a freshman, being able to have a big impact as a freshman coming in. Like that's the opportunity I wanted to look forward to. So that's really what played my decision to come here.
Now that you've gone through the spring practice, do you feel like you're in a position where you can really help the team this year?
Yeah, most definitely. Like this spring ball so far, like I've been able to make some big plays, and you know, been able to prove that I could be a definitely big time guy. So I feel like that's definitely what I came here for. So does
that help boost your confidence as a player?
Yeah. As you, cause true freshman, you know, you come. I came in here with confidence, but it's like as you get reps with the ones, the twos, you build more confidence. And you feel like you can that give you confidence to go out there on a Saturday and put up 100+ yards. So I just feel like that's what that's preparing me for.
Thank you.